Start all over again.
Perfect.
Oh gosh, let me just make sure we are live. We are going to be live momentarily on our Instagram. And here we go. I'm just going to press live there, just like that. For those of you joining on ApprovedToShop.com, I have the fabulous Jane Stoller, who is here with your live stream launch, not only on Approved to Shop, Jane, but welcome to Dawn's Deep Dive. This is the first in my interview series. It is so exciting to have you here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here because Dawn, you're a true professional, and I love the way you highlight, especially authors and people that are really trying to help more people. So thank you for what you do.
Well, if for those of you new to Approved to Shop, first of all, you're probably watching on Instagram simulcast. Maybe you're on YouTube, maybe you're on Facebook. Getting to our VIP live shopping room to shop Jane's book, both on Amazon and on Indigo. I've put both of those there because some people want it by tomorrow
Yeah.
and other people are willing to wait, and that's fine. All you have to do is type boss in the comments and you are going to get a what do I call it? It's a link. You're going to get a little link that tells you to go ahead and click a button, and then you get to watch the show, learn all of Jane's 6 steps in her system to organize your life like a boss and your business like a boss, and that's kind of how it works right there. So Jane, first of all, for anyone that doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I'm Jane Stoller. My tagline or business name is Organized Jane, and I primarily help. It was, women or men, but my niche was women in business, small to medium-sized business owners get their business organized. I did work in corporate started an insurance company in Canada, and then went to get an MBA and a master's in business, and worked for a cement company for over 15 years, where I worked in Vancouver, Edmonton, and then went to Switzerland and all over in a consulting role with them, really on getting how they organize their businesses, what countries were making money, and why were they making more money than other countries in the same industry. So really consulting focused in the last 4 years. And I got fed up because I was so tired of helping big corporations make a lot of money. I wanted to help the small business owner, really to help them, you know, find a system that could help them get organized. And that's where Organized Jane started.
Amazing. Well, I see we've got people watching from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Drop a note in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And better yet, if you're watching on those social platforms, type boss and you will end up
Yes.
in our live shopping room. And right there, Jane, you can just click a button and pick up your book, Organize Your Business Like a Boss. Now, you're fresh off of a few in-person book signings, aren't you?
Yes, we did. Whistler in Vancouver was our first book signings, and close to my heart, the Whistler bookstore is, Armchair Books is a beautiful spot. If anybody's ever been, it has lots of local authors in there, and it was just so nice to be there. And a lot of my friends and network showed up. And Vancouver and Robson Indigo was just a beautiful store too, and a lot of friends, interested clients came, and it's just nice to be able to talk to people about this book, and it's been so long. So yeah, the book tour continues now.
Amazing. And I love that with Approved to Shop, we can do it virtually from wherever you were watching.
Yeah.
I put 2 links in our live shopping room. When you comment boss, you'll get right there and you're going to still watch the show. I put one for Amazon and I put one for Indigo. It's the same price. Just some people like working with Prime and all that, and that's great.
Yep.
But throughout this next half hour or so, we're going to actually go through your 6
Yes.
steps. So let's go with our very first step, which to me seems, especially as a new entrepreneur, Jane, it seems like there's never enough time. And I've said this half jokingly, and maybe other people out there can relate, and please let us know if you can. But I've never worked so hard. I've never been so tired, but also in some ways, I've never been more energized. And I don't know if that's the high of going, okay, if I'm really busy, I'm productive, but it still feels like I'm not moving as fast as I want to. And maybe that starts with the time management.
Oh, that's like, I feel like we're all stuck in that. And that's why I started with time management. It's the first step in my course. First, we need to know where you're spending your time, and are you spending it on the right things? So, in your personal and business life, what are you doing? I want you to track all of those hours, minutes. What are you spending your time on? Because that's really the gold on how we can get to the next steps of my book, and really making sure you're spending the right time on your business.
We've got Zandra, who is watching on Instagram. She's in Toronto. Hello, Zandra. Zandra, I believe you own a business as well. So maybe share some of the struggles you have, and we'd love to get Jane to answer some of your questions as well. But when it comes to time management, how has technology, do you think? And I know you give us lots of tools. You help us work through checklists and all this, because this isn't just a do this, it's a work through it to make it sustainable for you. But how have you found technology to help us? But also, I wonder, has it also taken our ability to fine tune and work that muscle of figuring out a way that is for us and not necessarily what is deemed right for everybody else?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like in terms of we are just like especially the technology sector in this book, it's very challenging to note. I said what I put and what I do in my business, and there's some examples in there, but really this book is meant to help you where you're at, give you tips, be a reference book. You need to look at the 6 steps, apply maybe a few technology, but not overwhelmingly. I always say sometimes we don't even need tech. A simple spreadsheet is really a simple solution. And even in Glimmer Wine too, we talk a lot about my other business about how do we make this process, from CRMs to logistics tracking. A lot of it is still done on simple spreadsheets because we don't want to get too overwhelmed or too complicated too fast.
Yeah, I see we've got people watching on Instagram. Feel free to ask questions, everybody. We've got this
Yeah,
system with Approved to Shop where we can see your questions, whether you're watching on
I love it.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. But type boss if you want to end up in our special live shopping room. You'll get a DM, you'll still get to watch and listen, and you'll hear more from Jane, of course, throughout this next while. We're talking about how to organize your business like a boss, but I appreciate, Jane, that even in your time management element and other areas in this book, you talk about the importance of gaining clarity. And what I appreciate as well with each chapter, we walk away looking at it and going, okay, I did all that. Pat my back, pat my back, pat my back. Or maybe I don't have clarity. You've really created this book to be a resource, meaning you can go back as many times as you want.
Yeah, and that's what a reference guide. Start with the most pressing issue, whether it's the financial section, which it is for most people. Accounting and bookkeeping is very stressful. And as they grow, sometimes that gets pushed aside and we say, we'll get to it. But we really want to get to that point in terms of, what's the most overwhelming part of your business? Is it, I don't have enough time? Is it, I can't, I don't know how to do my bookkeeping, or I don't know where to start? Is it I don't know who to hire? I don't know where to find people? Like, what is the most stressful part of your book
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
life?
and we're going to talk about organizational chart and some of those tools as well. But Zandra has she basically has a comment, which could translate into a way to answer a question. She said, "Yeah, I have a small business. I'm good at creating, but not good at organizing. Planning and organizing is a hard job in and of itself." Yeah, I think Jane, maybe this really speaks to the fact. Like, I know a lot of us, we think, okay, if I'm good at something and I have something that I think other people will want, that automatically makes it a business. But we hear this on Dragon's Den a lot too, right? Like, if you don't
Mhm.
know how it's going to be sustainable, how you can scale, if you don't know your numbers, it might be more of a hobby. So it's really important. The back end,
Yeah.
how important is that back end and understanding all of that to make it a viable business?
Well, that's a good question. And there was a book I read a few years ago that was kind of like, how do you determine if your business is a hobby or actually a business? But it really is that sales number. So are you how much revenue are you making from your business? How much profit? How much are you keeping? And are you able to grow that, or reorders, or repeat customers? So it really depends on, is your business bringing in enough for you to sustain your lifestyle, or is it still a hobby? Is there ability to scale? Can you tweak a few things to make X amount more sales? So there is some templates in the finance section here on reverse engineering your sales to say, if you want to make X amount of dollars, how many, we do this a lot in financial modeling to say, how are we going to get to this budget number is what we need. How do we get there? So I'd say, starting out, sell your product or service, see if it actually works. What is the feedback? And then, can you actually make this into a business? How much do you need to make to survive, to put a roof over your head? and then grow that
Yeah,
business.
and to that point, so this book, for anyone watching right now, hello, you're watching the inaugural episode of Dawn's Deep Dive. Maybe I'll change the name one day, but you're the first, Jane. And
Yeah,
my
thank
time
you.
in breakfast television, I really, I wanted to bring a bit of that vibe back. I mean, obviously, I work in the live shopping space, and I know how to do but wait, there's more, and there's a place for that. But I think what we're missing, especially in media right now, is the opportunity to feature small businesses, to feature authors, to feature people that have the news you can use, and to be able to offer a pathway for people to get books like yours home. And to do that, all you have to do is type boss. If you are watching on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, type that. You're going to get a DM from me that says, hey, come to our live shopping room. And from there, you're still going to watch, you're going to learn, and you're going to be able to click the button to shop on either Amazon or on Indigo. So I want to talk just also quickly, because you do mention we're still on step one. You also talk the importance of organizing your home like a boss as well. So
Yeah.
so where's the balance, Jane? I mean, does that even exist in our world? Because I mean, for the last 2 years since I started live selling school, I've been sitting with a laptop on my lap, and it feels like everything else has gone to crap. Honestly, how important is it to manage our home so that we can still be successful in our business?
Well, I say like running your home like a boss is so important because, and even if you were a full-time home manager or whatever you want to call it, stay-at-home mom, that is still, you are organizing appointments and people's lives and your families, and there's so much importance in that as well. And I think just the home life translates into how do we create organizing and space and clarity so we can show up in our business and in our wherever we are with clarity so we're not stressed. So I always say the first thing in the morning, if you can find that outfit you're going to wear, you're already off to a good start. If it's clean, great, right? But if you show up to a meeting, if you're frazzled, it's 9 in the morning, you're stressed, that already sets the tone for the day, and likely it'll continue to perhaps be not an organized day. So uh, I'm not saying your home has to be Instagram perfect or, Dawn, working from your laptop is on your lap all day for 2 years is okay, as long as you're feeling like okay, you're not overwhelmed by too much other things to do. But if there is something nagging, I need to, the attic or the garage, I wish you could start just 10 minutes a day
Yeah, I
tackling it.
think that's the problem when you work from home and live at work. It's like
Yeah, I
how do you
know. You
manage,
see it
right? But what I
everywhere.
appreciate too is in that time management, you actually help us work through an exercise to find out where we are spending our time. Like for instance, my husband will say every single day, and maybe those of you that are watching, you feel the same way. It's like, it's almost like he goes, what did you do all day? And he knows I'm working, right? So he goes, what did you do today? And I think he's expecting me to have this list of all this stuff. And I said, well, I worked.
Yeah.
And then I think to myself, I'm like, what did I do? I was busy. I was on social media a lot. I did this. And it just feels like I don't have a way to attribute it. And I think at that time is when the overwhelm happens. So,
Yeah.
how do you, I mean, I guess it's in the book, right? You've got to actually write it down. That's probably where it starts to audit yourself.
Yeah, audit your time. And the time you spend on social media, Don, probably is not wasted because you are getting, like me and you met through social media. And your job requires you to be like connecting with people, showing up, letting them know what you do. I didn't know you had a shopping channel until I went to your page and looked at you need to be doing social media. How much? I don't know. Like scrolling, if you're doing 10 hours a day and you're only bringing in one or two clients, is that return on investment? I don't know, but we wanted to start by looking at how much time you're spending on it. And is there maybe other avenues you're not doing that you could be shifting
Yeah,
to?
and later on in the steps, we're just finishing up step one. Later on, you do talk about the importance of, well, the 80-20 rule of spending 80% of your
Yeah.
time on things that will make you money. So before we get to that, let's talk about how to organize those finances. I barely passed math. Jane, I'm trying to run a business. And
Yeah, I
listen,
know.
I'm not in a position to hire a bookkeeper at this point. I am kind of all the things. So what I love about this, and if you are like me and you're like, okay, right now I'm all the things, you actually go, here are financial terms you need to know. Like, listen, I know the term ROI. If you don't know the term ROI or AOV or LTV,
Yeah.
you need to learn some of these things if you want to run a business, Jane. And you lay it all out so nicely, even in the appendix for us.
Well, I really, I'm also not a math girl, and for years I said, "Oh, I can't do that," or but I was like, if I'm going to run a business, I need to learn that. And even getting an MBA and you don't learn the basics of balance sheet reading. You need to learn that on your own. So I picked up a couple books. I have a mentor, Nicole Lappin, who I use for all my finance stuff. But find a mentor online and just start learning yourself, because you need to learn how to, especially if you're going to get into the investor space, what ratios they're going to ask you, ROI, return on investment. Reading financial statements is super important. And today you can go on your chat GTP and they can help you learn the basics of financials. You need to know this if you're going to run a
Yeah,
business.
I will say you actually show us in the book how to read
Yeah.
the three types of financial statements. Plus, you actually give us some great insight on the types of funding that you can get. Like a lot of us know things like, Kickstarter and GoFundMe and maybe angel investors, but you actually, I think there's at least 12 more things that we might not
Yeah.
have even, like grants as a small
Yeah.
business.
Well, it's mystifying, this grant world too. We're in Canada here, but I've recently just been able to secure like 2 students for Glimmer Wine internship is partially funded. I'm working on a grant for development into the U.S. now. For Organized Jane, I was able to secure a few grants, so they are out there. And I'm not a grant writer, but I was able to get these. So I think that just looking at the options, doing a little bit of research. So funding is out there, especially for new small businesses. On the digital space too, there's lots of digital adoption grants. There's a company called Pocketed in Canada, which you can actually you can put in your business and they'll show you what grants you're available for. They have grant writers you can use. But I think we just need to start searching for that too, because that's one option that is often overlooked.
Yeah, and developing that money mindset. And what I think a lot of people, especially on my channel, I mean, I've got a very diverse group that are watching. Hello, if you're watching on Instagram, Facebook,
Hello.
YouTube, everybody that's watching. I also have a lot of creators and creatives that watch. And I appreciate that you actually have highlighted that. Because in the past, when I was growing up, I could never imagine that, if you went and said, oh, I'm an influencer, or I'm a creator, your parents would go get a real job. Right, we
Yeah,
know, and
exactly.
TikTok shop, right? Like we know this is potentially big business. And so you really highlight the need and the ways to develop that money mindset no matter the industry.
Yeah, and it really starts with that, what we're taught and what we think and what our beliefs are, and how we grew up and whatnot. But that is the most important thing. And the more money I make, the more I can bring to my team. The more I sell, the more we can. It needs to be that mentality of an abundance, because otherwise, what are you even doing this business for? And it's not a bad thing to make a lot of revenue in your business, because then you're employing people, sharing your product or service. You're helping people. So it's always that there's a lot of books out there and videos on how to create your money mindset, but it is one of the steps in the book around the financials is loving it and also getting to know those numbers. They go hand in hand.
Yeah, and if you don't know your numbers, you don't have a business.
No.
We are here with Jane Stoller. She is the author, I'm going to say best-selling author. I'm projecting. Well, I already know you're a best-selling author, but for this book, you've already got almost a 5-star rating. I think it's 4.75 on ratings already. And let's face it, it's hard to be perfect in anything. But you
Oh,
have just launched your book just in September. You've been doing these live in-person book signings. I know you're going to be going to Barnes and Noble in the States, I think early next year, doing
yeah.
some of your tours as well. But this is your chance to pick this up from wherever you are watching, from wherever you are in your business. Just type boss and you will end up in our live shopping room. I actually put 2 sources for you, Jane. I put Amazon and I
Okay.
also put Indigo. It's the same price. Just some of
Perfect.
you want to get the Amazon because it'll show up tomorrow. The sooner you start organizing your business like a boss, the sooner it actually frees up your time. And we know that organization helps with productivity, right? How does it make us more money? How does it free up even our mental well-being? Because it seems to me you probably were born organized. Like you probably showed up on the second that the projection, like Jane was born on X and she's projected to arrive at X time. I bet you arrived exactly on time.
My mom would say no. But I feel like there's being organized and being productive, and we all want to be super productive all the time. It's not possible to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not always super organized, but I do take steps to really think ahead and plan and keep the basics of a system in place, whether it's my home or my business. And I think that's where, the days when I don't feel great or the days when I don't show up, and that's okay, and that happens. And your business still goes on, the organization, if it doesn't fail. So it's just having those concrete steps. And yes, I culturally, I'm pretty organized and I like that structure, but it doesn't matter. The bones of any business are very similar.
Yeah, and I will say again, no matter your industry, whether you are the solopreneur or whether you have 100 employees, organize your business like a boss is for you, especially I'm going to say if you are a new entrepreneur, you've got a business or you've got a product that's been selling. Like that's the start of business. And I see Culture Junkie just typed the boss on Instagram.
Yay.
Yeah, be like Culture Junkie. She's now ended up in our VIP shopping room, which means you can just press a button and you go directly to the Indigo checkout. Well, or to read about it, obviously, you still have to finish the whole thing, or you end up at Amazon. So thank you for doing that. If you have questions, please, Jane is here to answer. I'm only here talking just to make sure that you get good value out of this time that you were spending with us on my very first episode of Dawn's Deep Dive.
Oh, I
This is
love
with
it.
Jane Stoller. I love it. Okay, so let's talk now about, because we've done the first 3 steps, let's talk about honing your human resources. So you've got an organizational chart. Now, of course, I went and disrupted my whole little flow with all my stickies, but you actually have a handwritten organizational chart. And the first thing I thought is like, that's like 20 things on that chart, and there's only me.
Yeah.
So doesn't the organizational chart then just say my name or whoever's out there that is a solopreneur?
It does. And that's where I still encourage you to do it. I love organizational charts. We talked about this in our last call, Dawn, but I think it's important that you start putting down the buckets. Like you are doing the bookkeeping if it's your own business and you're just by yourself. You're probably doing the sales. You're probably doing the marketing. You're probably doing the like shipping or logistics. So all of those are different functions which you're going to put down and your name will be on them. So as you grow and maybe you never grow, maybe that's your business for life because it brings in an income and that's okay. But you still have those 4 functions that you are literally doing. You are wearing all of those hats. And I think that's why it's important to see that and say, hey, these are what I'm doing. These are the buckets I'm working in, and you need to own that.
So if I revert back then to our previous step in your 6-step system, and even like because I know the full steps and I've read the book, obviously, as I'm looking at that org chart, which might have content creator, marketer, bookkeeper, newsletter writer, copywriter, all this other stuff. Is it at that point that we're able to start to determine maybe some of the other systems that we can put in place, which is again a later step or an earlier step, I should say, step 2, to maybe see what can be automated? Because when I was, when I started this business, obviously technology existed, but when I started in my career as a TV broadcaster, we had not even had there was no such thing as texting yet. We were still doing ICQ where you heard the little "Kakao," and you were emailing back and forth. And even that was fairly new. So how has technology been able to help us be used in conjunction with things like an org chart or putting systems in place or time management?
And I think it is there's so much we can do now to help better organize ourselves and our productivity. Now we're probably overwhelmed because we think we have to do 10 times more sales because we can be so much more productive, but not really. Like still the bones of your business are the same, but now we have the ability in the first step you talked about like what do we automate? You will see in the exercise, okay, what should you be spending your time on? What should you not be? If you should not be spending your time on that, can you eliminate it, automate it is a big thing. Whether it's your sales process, like there's a way to automate, invoicing goes direct, or is there a thank you note that goes out afterwards? Some kind of automation that you're not doing yourself. And there is so much technology out there these days. Even executive assistants now, there's Howie or there's Fixer for your emails. There's lots of different things you can use to become more productive in that sense. So those little mundane tasks likely will be replaced by AI. You are probably still doing the selling or the face to face, or maybe you have AI sellers or somebody else selling, but there is still a lot of you in that business involved, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, I would say this book in particular, Jane, yes, it's like anything in life, right? Like I teach people live selling. Can you Google and chat GPT how to live sell? Yes, but it's not the same as having someone who's done this. And it also is not able to personalize the way it needs to be personalized. And so you have to do the work. And what you've done here is you've given us a resource. So it's a book, yes. but it's a resource. There are worksheets, there are exercises. And when you work through that muscle yourself, you develop a muscle memory. And how important is it to work through this? And I think of the time also that maybe some people are thinking, like, do I have time to add any of these worksheets in this process to myself? I think of a culture junkie who said, do you spend one day out of the week just getting the organizing down? Like, she's already trying to think, how do I put that into my time management system?
I love time blocking, and if you can, if your schedule allows, if you do 2 days a week calls or 2 days a week customer focused sales, one day a week admin, that's the ideal. That's like a dream that sometimes is not always achievable. But if you do certain time blocks, like 2 hours of um, you know, webinars, then an hour of emails. That time blocking might be a bit easier than blocking it into certain days. Some people like to have a CEO day or admin day when they do all of that. If you can, great, but sometimes just not sustainable because there's too many other things going on, or you have to at least every day check your sales or your logistics, which also isn't a bad thing. But I do like where she's going. If you can carve out time blocks or days, do it.
Yeah. Okay. Step 5. By the way, there are 6 steps in Jane's system. If you are in our live shopping room, great. You're just going to click a button, whether it's Amazon or Indigo. I'm highlighting right now. You'll see it right at the bottom of your screen. You'll see the Indigo version. It's the same price, but Indigo, you might have to wait a little bit for shipping, and there's probably a minimum spend, which is fine. You guys do you. I've also just now highlighted Amazon, and if you're a Prime member, you know that you get free shipping on that. So that's wonderful that I see so many of you there right now. And I will say, when we get to the marketing point, this was the part where I was like super excited, because I thought, well, I'm already a boss in marketing. I mean, like, this is what I do, right? I live
Yeah.
sell and I do social media, but even me, Jane, even me, I had stuff to learn. And you give us a template in here that we can work through that also lets you get started, but also gives you a process to keep going.
Yeah, and I like that template. I'm no marketing expert. I just I've took many courses and also just do what works for myself. But there is a template to say, what are we going to start to, how are you going to start showing up? When are you going to do it? And just to get it you started, you got that organizational framework. Whatever type of marketing you're doing, whether it's digital sales, whether it's referrals, whether it's you have a strategy for whatever it is, just to get it on paper and in some kind of templated or some kind of organizational order to keep doing it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, you really dress some, I'm going to say, I don't even want to say elephants in the room. I think we all know, and I know this for a fact because I work with a lot of founders.
Yeah.
I did back when I was on breakfast television. I would often have to guide somebody who had some, not like you, you're very good on television, but there would be authors that would come on and it's almost like they didn't want to talk about themselves, or a restaurant
Oh,
owner, and they don't want to talk about themselves, or they don't feel comfortable on
yeah.
camera. The world we live in, Jane, and I mean, we're not building someone's business here. We're helping them sustain their business and build a strong business through
Yeah.
the back end stuff. But the reality is like, marketing now involves being on camera, social media, speaking in some, we're not saying you got to do TikTok dances, but you're going to be your best salesperson.
Oh, and
And
you have to
cheapest.
be.
And cheapest.
Yeah. You have to be. And it's 90%, or at least I say 80% of your day should be selling, especially when you're starting, because you have a really, even this book, if I don't sell it, no one's going to buy it, but I know it can help people. So it's just getting out there and sharing it. My courses, I had to hire a coach when I restarted this business because I failed the first time because I was scared. I was like one of those people you mentioned. Didn't want to talk about myself or what I could do or the skills that I had. So getting over that fear of marketing yourself, your product, your business is so important. And hiring somebody, even like hiring a coach to get over that was the best thing that I ever did.
Ooh, Emma, adding to cart. Beautiful, Emma. I think you're
Yay.
in our live shopping room. And if that is the case, then you are just pressing the button. I put 2 on there. So highlighted right now is the Amazon. It's the same price. So it's just, do you want to shop on Amazon? Press the button you see right now. You can go to other products and and I'll also highlight it right now. I'll highlight the Indigo. If you're watching in Canada, those are your options. I will say, because I've put in the Canadian version of Amazon, if you're watching from the States, then you're still click on it and it will ask you to switch countries, and then you can still buy it on Amazon in the States. as well. So you're most welcome to purchase this book. Again, it has been just released. It will change the way you do and run your business. It will help save you time, money, sanity. Culture Junkie said, very good points. Thank you so much. And Emma, great comment. So first of all, Emma says, which is faster to check out? They're all the same. Click the button. You're still going to be able to watch the show while you click that button. I would log out. I would not log out. I would click the button. It'll take you either to Amazon or Indigo. Amazon, you usually get it faster just because they ship it sometimes even same day. But either one, it's totally your preference. Emma brought up a good point. Imposter syndrome
Oh
is
God.
real. And
Yeah.
I think of this, Jane. I think, is the imposter syndrome, does it start with the org chart where you're at the helm as the CEO? Like where, or is it throughout all the steps?
I think all of us have imposter syndrome on all the steps. And we are still, especially as women, we're scared to own all of these, our own businesses, to sell it. When we're doing the, financial step, we don't feel like we're qualified enough to even be our own CFO sometimes. Or, when we are writing down CEO, founder of your business, and that you are the marketing director, you're the sales director, you are the controller, and you are the logistics director at this point. You're doing everything. So I think imposter syndrome lies deep within all of these, and I think it was Emma who mentioned that. But yeah, we all have it. And even writing this book, I was like, why? How do I know what I'm doing? But you know what? I do, and that's where you just have to own it and look back to how many people you've helped. Did it transform them? Did they see the results you were looking for? And that's where you have to. That's why you keep going.
Yeah, I think so. You said to unpack just a lot on there. You always hear those that can't do teach. Yeah, I'm not sure that that's the case because those that have done are the best teachers. If you can
Yeah,
hone that skill, if you can learn how to just get a little bit comfortable on camera so that you're like Jane, right? Maybe you want to be on the next Dawn's deep dive on Approved to Shop because you're going to be wanting to say, gosh, I want to tell you all about things I know. Why? So I can help you. So
yeah,
because it's not just that you've helped, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people either and thousands through your books, but of course you even have your program. But on top of that, you yourself have built several successful businesses using the very system. So like this isn't, let's just Jane figure out, oh, let's chat GPT and look at 6 ways to help build your
yeah,
business on the back end,
yeah,
which
yeah,
a lot of people do. A lot of people do. And they go in, they sit there and they create these ebooks and they sit there and then call themselves an expert. These are proven systems, Jane. You have built businesses using these systems. And what you've done for us is
yeah.
you have made it so that we don't have to go to sources of people that don't know a lick about building a successful business. They just went and chat GPT'd something.
Yeah, and there's a lot of validity to that too. And just in terms of experience and working alongside big consultants as well, and how they structure large consulting projects and working with different types of industries, and also working in corporate for a long time, you learn different systems there, what works, and seeing a lot of how they run businesses, different business units, and starting my own business. So definitely, I think when you're any book you read nowadays, you have to look at the experience of the author and what they've done. And more now than ever, we have to fact check things.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're thinking to yourself, but how am I going to do the bookkeeping if I don't know what the terms are? Listen, there's an appendix in here that even if so, this book really is once you've got a viable product, service, whatever it is you're selling.
Yep.
Now you're going to start organizing that business. This isn't about starting your business. This is about organizing your business, whatever that is. But Jane, I would say that people are going to want to get this right now, even if they are just starting their business. Like maybe they're
Yeah.
working through a business plan, or maybe they go, how do I do a business plan? You've actually included, it's like almost an eighth of the book, several appendix areas where it's like learn the financial terms. Here's how to do a
Yeah.
business plan,
Starting
all
a
of that
business
stuff.
plan.
So
Yeah.
you actually like this is such a great resource for people that are just starting in. So I appreciate this so much. As someone who's 2 years in, I'm like, where the heck was Jane Stoller when I was sitting there pulling out my hair, knowing I had a dream, right? And this Approved to Shop channel and what I do with my live selling school, it's a dream that kept me awake. Like I'm almost going to get emotional because it kept me awake till
Oh,
3 in the morning and 7 in the morning for like years and years and years. And all I wanted to do was make it a successful business so I could help people. And I feel like I could have saved so much time, so much effort, and some money and gotten way more ahead if I had had this book sooner.
well, that warms my heart too, because I 100% agree. And what this book does it too, it gives you the motivation to kind of just start. And I see you getting teary eyed because I'm so happy you started your channel and you're helping so many people. But this is why this book is here too, just to share my business failures, why, how to get over them, how to start marketing yourself, how to just start, right? And that's why I encourage everybody to find a tool, find a mentor, if it's this book or another book that just helps you get started. Because Dawn, you needed something just to get you to say, this is why I need to start doing this.
Yeah, and Lucy, good for you. So Lucy said, "Yes, she said, I want to start social media, but I don't know how or where to get the courage." Okay, listen, Lucy. Um, I mean, you just got to start going live, or you got to
Yep,
start putting yourself on tapes. I mean, I teach this, but I'm not here to talk about what my services are. What I will say is do it scared, do it without being perfect, but
yep.
do it because it's like when you started walking, what did you do? You stumbled once in a while. Oh, then you don't go, oh, I'm staying down or I'm never going to walk. No, what you do is you start again and you keep going and then you get stronger and then you're going to fall still. And Jane, I think that that's important to know as well. Like even with this tool that you have given us, it doesn't mean we're not going to mess up. It
Oh,
doesn't, none of that, right?
it doesn't have to be perfect, and that's what a lot of professional organizers struggle with. I think, both in the home and the business, is we this perfection. No, this is just a framework that you can start implementing to help you get more organized. You were going to adapt it. You were going to change it. It doesn't even have to be on a computer. It can just be written down and scribbled. But those notes and that framework is what you need to get started. And I'm always changing things in my businesses and systems and how we use things. It doesn't have to be perfect. It never is going to be perfect. But
Um,
we want it out there. We want to get it done.
We do. And then we want to streamline it. So, oh, and by the way, Lucy said she just bought it on Amazon.
Mm,
Yay, Lucy.
thank
All
you.
right.
Mm,
I usually have a bell.
yeah.
I usually have a ding, 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 ding. Okay.
Mhm.
And then we want to make it sustainable because listen, it's easy to be excited when things are new. And when things are like, okay, I did something and it's like you get a gold star. And then you kind of, I think in life and probably business, you get a little complacent. And so the things that we do now and the way we set ourselves up with the help of your book, and let me tell you, there is so much guidance here and helping you work it through yourself. But we want to make sure that we're able to sustain it. Because listen, I'd like to think that if I trained for a marathon that, well, I'm not doing that. That's a bad example. I'd like to think okay, or I'm on some extreme diet or whatever to lose 10 pounds. But how often do we hear even from dietitians? It's like, great. Can you do that forever? Because if you don't do that forever, you're going to crash and burn. So, how important is step 6 in
Oh my
creating
gosh.
those systems that will help you sustain that organization?
So six, that's my favorite step too, because it's looking back, it's saying, okay, when are you going to update it? What has changed? Practical ways to say, okay, we need to update. What are we going to do? Technology comes in. We've got new team members. Maybe the product has changed. Maybe your strategy has changed. It's got to be adapting. You got to adapt these steps all the time. So the sixth step is actually looking at back at them, refining them. What do we need to adapt, audit, change, and update? So it's never a business plan should never be 100 pages that you write once and never look at. It should be a flowing document.
Yeah, and you have that in here. And just to that point, I want everyone to just understand like we're going through we've only got like 5 minutes left here. And if you have questions, let us know. Let us know your business. Give yourself a
Yeah.
shout out. We want to know who you are, what you're up to. It's so nice to be able to see all of you on here. And I will say, you've really highlighted, Jane, the importance of it being simple, because if it's not simple to follow and do, if it's not simple to get started, then we kind of stall, don't we?
Yeah. We don't even start. So that's why this book is meant to be just 10 minutes a day. Start reading a section that you're most overwhelmed with. Start small. I don't want you to organize your whole entire house in one day. I don't want you to organize your whole entire business in one day. I want you to start with the most pressing need or the priority and go from there.
Well, we're just going to wrap right now. Let me tell everyone how to shop, and then I'm going to leave the final words with
Perfect.
you, Jane. So you're going to be able to. Oh, Harry said, "Thank you both. I love this series." Harry, this is the inaugural series on Approved to Shop. My name is Dawn Choubet. I've been in the broadcast industry for 25 years. And by the way, if you search out Dawn Choubet vintage video on YouTube, you're going to see my audition tape.
Oh my God, I
And
want to see it.
you will, and you should afterwards, because you're going to see, Jane, that just like it's sort of an accumulation of everything we're talking about. I think Lucy said, but I'm not comfortable on camera. Let me tell you something. I was not either. I was a singer, sang on, I used to sing on the morning show to promote my band, but I was not a broadcaster. That audition that you're going to see my hands shaking, you're going to see me nervous, and then you're going to go, okay, but she did it. She did it scared.
Yeah.
She learned from people around her. And they always say that to be successful, it's who are you hanging out? Who are the 5 people? And I like to think that with this book, when you pick this up right now by typing boss on social media, you get taken to the Digital Live shopping room, or just go to ApprovedToShop.com. There's a button to take you to Amazon and Indigo. I'd like to encourage you to envision Jane as one of your 5 people. When you have this book, when you read it, Jane is one of your 5 people. And so I'm so grateful. Harry said my new favorite book club. Perfect. Perfect. We're going to do a book club here. I will tell you, it's only going to be books I'm interested in. And this is going to be a game changer for you. And I just am so thrilled that you were my first guest on Dawn's Deep Dive. And we really, even though we deep dove, we really just scratched the surface in the conversation, Jane. And it's such an important book for people to get.
Well, thank you so much, Dawn, for having your professionalism here today too, because like you said, as authors and as business owners, we're often sometimes not used to promoting all the time ourselves or our work. So you being able to help us share what we do and how we help people is really important. And I think this is a good skill set that you're bringing to the table, is just highlighting how we're helping more people. And I want to sell my books and my courses to help more people get organized so they can sell more of what they do and help and employ more people. So it just keeps going around and round. And thank you, Dawn, for what you do.
Well, I tell you what, for just over $40 to be able to get like Coach Jane, I'm going to call you Coach Organized Jane in your back pocket, like
Yeah.
that is so inexpensive when you think of what you can do with this information. And honestly, it's why I wanted to bring this Approved to Shop channel to light with my partner, Anna Allen, and this series, because now we can share the information, just like when I used to work on breakfast television, right? What is Oprah's book club? But a chance, just like, I'm not Oprah, but it's like this. But now we've got technology that allows people to just press a button and go right to the checkout when they are inspired. They don't have to leave the conversation. And this is the way the worlds are going. So this, I would say, is probably one of your most organized press tours, if I can say that. Time management. You're not traveling anywhere to be able to do this. You can reach the world.
I love this. And when you reached out to me, I was like, 100%. And thank you for making me your inaugural guest.
Amazing. And we've got Xander, who said, great show. Great resources. Thanks for the information on the book. Harry said, my new favorite book club. Lucy just purchased on Amazon. Congratulations, everyone. And we're going to sign off now. Thank you for joining us on Dawn's Deep Dive, exclusively on ApprovedToShop.com. And be sure to pick up Jane's book on Amazon or Indigo. You can do it on the replay here, or just go ahead to those websites and pick up your copy today. Thank you so much, Jane. Have a great one. Bye-bye.